open, and you want to extend as far as you can into your computer, all right? And then you can slowly come back up and gently release everything again. Okay, so this time we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going, instead of concentrating on the front body, we're going to concentrate on the back body. So there's two ways to always look at everything. Is you can try, and it depends on how your body works and how your mind works. So figure out which one kind of works better for you with the instructions, and then we'll move on to making it work even better for you. So find your feet. Okay, and knees on top of your ankles, your knees coming out from your hips. Relax your shoulders this time so that you have no tension through the neck, and then extend all the way up to the ceiling. So when you do that, just make sure that your shoulders don't come up with you. You want to keep your shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Then we're going to bring the hand to the front of the chest again, just so you have that placement there. And then I want you to go back to the back body and find your tailbone, okay? So you have the tailbone. So your spine starts at the tailbone and goes all the way to the base of the skull. So what we're going to try and do is lift up through the spine from the tailbone all the way to the base of the skull as we move forward into the pose. So you want a nice level pelvis to do that. Think of the tailbone moving downward. So tailbone moves downward, and you're going to come forward. You're going to keep moving that tailbone down as you lift the rest of the spine up. So tailbone down, and then rest of the spine moving forward. Okay, so front of the chest is nice and open. The back should be as flat as you can get it. So it's not rounded this way. You want to keep that lift up through the body, and then slowly come back up to seated. Okay, so stretch everything out. So I'm going to show you something, and then we're going to move into the next part of the pose. So I'm going to turn this way. So if I'm moving through the pose and I keep my spine rounded, so my shoulders are coming forward this way, and I try and go into the pose, it feels way more difficult, and it's scrunchy through my nice yoga technical term, scrunchy. It's scrunchy through my abdominals. If I keep my upper body moving upward and I keep my front chest open, it's not as scrunchy, and I now have length through the side of my body, okay? So it doesn't matter how far you go forward, but that's what you're looking for, is to remove that scrunchiness through the side body and through the abdominals, okay? So this time we're going to see how far you can actually go forward with this pose, keeping all of those things in mind. So your feet are your stability and your legs are your stability. So you want to make them as strong as you possibly can, and make sure that you're at kind of the front of your chair so that you can create that fold. It's easier to do at the front of your chair than the back of your chair. All right, so find your feet, push into the floor with your big toe, baby toe heel, knees on top of the ankles, the knees coming out from the hips. Okay, and then relax the shoulders, relax the neck, and then start to find that spinal extension. So you're already opening up through the side body and finding that spinal extension. So you can either think of the front of the chest or go to the spine, whichever one worked better for you in moving through this pose. So you're going to move forward first, and then we're going to fold over, okay? And just part way. So move forward first, keeping the spine nice and long. And then you're going to come so that you're flat down, and you can rest on your legs. If you can't get to your legs, just bring your arms to wherever you can get to, so the arms are supporting you on your legs. If you can get to your legs, bring your hands down to the floor, your feet, your ankles, your shins, wherever they can reach. Now, finding that extension of the spine still, notice the head is still upward. All right, so you're not dropping the head yet. You're keeping the front of the chest nice and open. Go back to the feet and push into the feet so the legs are nice and active as well. So in this pose, you should feel as though the legs are active, the spine is working, and the front chest is open. All right. And then take a deep breath in and exhale. And then as you breathe in again, come back up to seated. All right. And shake everything out. Okay, so this time we're actually going to drop the head. So remember that the head is the heaviest part of your body, so you're going to use it to your advantage. So when you come down to where we just were, if you keep that extension of the spine and release the back of the neck and the head and drop it forward or downward, sorry, then the spine may extend just a little tiny bit more, okay? It may not, it might. And again, if you can't get to your body resting on your legs, just allow your arms to be your support on top of your legs, okay? So finding your feet again, and your knees on top of your ankles, knees coming out from the hips. Relax the shoulders and the neck before you go anywhere. So you're not creating any of that tension before you move anywhere. And then think of extending the spine upwards. You're creating more space between each vertebrae. And you're going to bring, however you're going to look at it, the front of the chest towards the computer or extending the spine. The front of the chest works best for me, but maybe the spine worked good for you. So extend forward, bringing the front of the chest forward. You want to keep the shoulders open. The spine gets longer. You're going to come down as far as you can and release the arms and the shoulders. And then I want you to release the head and the back of the neck down towards the floor. And just see if you can touch the floor. And you want that nice spinal extension so it doesn't feel as though everything is scrunched up. It's a little scrunched up because you're folded over, but it's not as scrunched up as if your spine wasn't extended. All right, and then take a breath in. And on the exhale, just see if you can release a little tiny bit more. So use the weight of your head. And then another breath in. And exhaling. Okay, so we're gonna come back up. So when you come back up, I want you to lead with the heart center and not the head. So the heart center comes up first, the head stays dropped, and it's going to come all the way up. Leave the head dropped as much as you can, and then gently bring the head up last. So the reason to bring the head up last is so that you don't get a head rush and you don't have any dizziness. So if you come up with the heart center first, all the blood comes to the heart first and then moves to the head, as opposed to going straight to the head, in which case you need to hold on to a wall so that you don't fall over. So it's always better to come up with the heart center. So that's a good thing to remember. If you're out gardening or doing whatever, just remember to come up with your heart center because it's actually way better for your body. Okay, so we are now going to use that nice spinal extension that we had, and we're going to come into a twist. So with the twist, the first thing I want you to do is actually very un-yoga-like. I want you to slouch. I know we just extended the spine and now I'm asking you to slouch. With the slouch, I want you to just gently twist to one side and just feel how that feels in the body, okay? And then come back to center and you're gonna twist to the opposite side. So again, just feel how that feels in the body. All right, and then come back to center. Okay, so now we're going to make it feel a little bit better in your body. So there's two ways you can do this. If you want, you can turn sideways in your chair if you have a back to your chair and no arms. If you have arms on your chair, you can still do this pose seated facing forward, okay? I'm gonna turn sideways just so you get an idea of how the rotation actually works so you can see it. So the first thing you want to do is, again, line up those feet and legs. So it is really important here for the feet and the legs to be as strong as you can get them. Sorry, I just turned back around. When you come into the twist, you don't want the legs to come with you. You want them to be nice and strong so that when you twist, the legs keep as your stability and your support, okay? So that's why they're really important. And that's also why we've been working on them so much for the last 15 minutes. So place the feet facing forward. Again, big toe, baby toe, heel, knees on top of the ankles. knees coming out from the hips. All right, so create that extension of the spine. So that string attached to the ceiling is a really good way to extend through the spine. Pushing down into the feet, I want you to just gently rotate your body around. So relax the shoulders when you do that and just allow the body to rotate. Take a look at your knees, make sure they didn't come with you. And then I want you to pay attention to what actually rotated when you did that. So more than likely, it's probably mostly the shoulders, okay? So just be aware of that as you're rotating around. And then come back to center. And we're gonna switch to the other side. So if you're facing forward, you're just gonna rotate in the opposite direction. If you're turned sideways, you're going to actually move your body. All right, so find your feet. If you are facing forward, just use your legs as the to hold on to when you rotate. So it would look more like this, okay? So find your feet and push them into the floor. Knees on top of the ankles, knees coming out from the hips. Extend through the spine and then gently rotate yourself around. Relax the shoulders. If you have any sort of neck issues, you can leave the head facing forward or wherever it's comfortable. You don't have to rotate the neck around with you. So you want the shoulders to relax. And that may mean for my back shoulder, I always bring it up. So that means I have to find another position on the chair so that I can actually release that shoulder around. So then again, take a look at the knees, make sure they didn't move with you, and just pay attention to what is rotating around. Again, more than likely, it's probably just more your shoulders than anything else. All right, then come back to center. So we're gonna do it one more time each side. This time, what I want you to think about is instead of just rotating your shoulders, which you can do fairly easy, I want you to try and rotate from the belly button. So the entire rib cage is going to move around and the entire abdominals are going to try and move around. There's a couple of reasons why this is good for you. If you rotate from the abdominals, you're actually twisting all of those organs. So you're twisting out all the toxins. And then when you come back into a straight pose, you're actually bringing new oxygen into those organs. So trying to rotate not just the shoulders, but everything else is actually really beneficial to the body, okay? This is when the legs are important because now you're going to actually need to push into the feet to make that rotation happen. So you're gonna find the feet, push them firmly into the floor, knees on top of the ankles, knees coming out from the hips. Okay, so now relax the shoulders, relax the head, go back to the belly button. Think about the belly button rotating around. So it's not just the shoulders, it's the belly button. So I want you to grab the back of the chair or your legs, whichever one you're doing. And then as you inhale, you're going to get taller. And on the exhale, you're going to rotate the body around. So belly button around. Your shoulders are going to move easier, but I want you to try and move from the belly button around. And then take a look at your legs. Make sure your legs didn't follow you and push into the floor with the feet. Okay, one more time. You're going to inhale, get taller. Make sure you're not bringing the shoulders up to the ears when you do that. And then exhale, just see if you can rotate just a tiny bit more. And you may not move around a little bit more, but the body has that indication that you're trying to do that. All right, and then exhaling, come back to center. Okay, so we're gonna do the opposite side, but I want you, when we do the opposite side, I want you to think about how your slouched twist felt compared to the twist that you're gonna do on the opposite side. And just in your mind, try and figure out what is working better with them. And if it actually feels better, maybe it doesn't. Hopefully it does, but maybe it doesn't. Okay, so you're gonna come back to the first side. Again, pushing into the feet, knees on top of the ankles, knees coming out from the hips. Level the pelvis so that you can extend the spine even more. Relax the shoulders. All right. So inhale, you're going to get taller without bringing the shoulders up. exhaling, you're going to bring yourself around, belly button around to the back of the chair. And then take a breath in and exhale. Take a look at the knees, make sure that they didn't come with you. And then one more time, we're gonna inhale, get taller. Exhale, rotate belly button around to the back of the chair. And just start to feel the difference between this rotation and the one we did with the scrunched body. All right. And then exhaling, you're gonna come back to center and you can come back to the front of the chair. Okay, so we have one more pose and then we're gonna do Shavasana. Okay, which is everybody loves Shavasana and I will explain it when we get there. So the last pose, and we're just gonna do this one fairly quickly because we've worked a lot of upper body stuff and I want you to try and stretch out the legs as we move and try and balance out the front of the body. So you're gonna come all the way to the back of your chair so that you have some support on your lower back. Make sure that if my chair actually goes this way, so I don't actually wanna lean all the way back because then I'm going too far backward. I still want that nice tall spine. All right, then you're gonna take your hands to your thighs and you're going to gently lift one leg up. The other foot is pushing into the floor. So this leg doesn't have to come up very far. It can come up to here and you just wanna lift it up so that you're creating some lift through the legs. So the lower leg is working. The opposite leg is pushing into the floor and the spine is still extending. So now you have some balance in the spine and releasing it. All right, and then drop that leg down and we're gonna do the opposite side. So push into the floor with the opposite leg, lift the other leg up, find the balance in the body here. So the legs should feel as though they're both doing work. So that's balanced and that's also helping the upper body to become more balanced. All right, and then release and come back down. All right, so then roll the feet out a little bit, the ankles, I guess, not the feet. All right, and then I want you to actually take the legs, you can take them backwards underneath your chair. You can take them forward so the legs are crossed. What I want you to try and do is release the legs from all the work that we just did with them so that they're not pushing into the floor anymore, so that we can come into Shavasana. So Shavasana is resting pose. So basically it allows the body to relax and come back to a state that you can go back into the world with. I had a student once refer to Shavasana as the dessert of yoga because it was so relaxing for them. All right, so now that your legs are not pushing into the floor as much, I want you to just bring the feet down to the floor, but just gently place them on the floor. You can find the full back of your chair if you want to. You can place the hands on the thighs. You can place them on the heart center, wherever is comfortable for you. You can even take them down to the side if you wanted to. All right, and if you're comfortable, you can gently close the eyes. So with the eyes closed, or you can even just find a soft gaze at the floor, whichever one works better for you. I want you to just start to relax the body. So on the inhale, think calm, and on the exhale, think relax. And just start to feel the body settling into the chair. Lots of the poses that we did lifted the body up off the chair or moved it upward. So you want to just start to settle in. So start to feel the feet relaxing, allow the ankles to relax, allow the shins and the calves to relax, allow the knees, quadriceps, the bottom of the top of the legs. So the legs should start to release into the chair. Allow the hips to relax. Allow the abdominals to relax. So they're still going to support you, but allow them to be soft. Feel the back of the back supported by the chair. Allow the front chest to open, but the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Then start to feel the weight of the arms on the legs or wherever they are resting. Allow the neck to relax. unclench the jaw, release the facial muscles, allow the eyes to settle, allow the mind to settle, releasing the muscles of the forehead. And then just gently allow the head to settle on top of the body. And then go back to the breath. So nice inhale, just paying attention to the breath for a few minutes. You're gonna inhale and exhale. On the exhale, just see if you can relax the body just that little tiny bit more. The inhale allows you to remind yourself to pay attention to the breath. And then exhaling, releasing the body. And then one more time, inhaling, watching the breath, exhaling, release the body. All right, and then slowly opening your eyes. And just bring your hands to your heart center. And I want you to just thank yourself for being present in the practice, and thank your body for being present in the practice. And enjoy the rest of your day. All right. And thank you for having me.